I'm Mandy James from The Steve Shannon Show on 97 ZOK, and welcome back to my living room for another episode of Netflix and Chilled ... Wine, a video series dedicated to the two things that I love to do the most in this world, and that's binge watch Netflix originals and have a nice glass and sometimes an entire bottle of chilled wine. If you've never seen my video series before, here's how it works. I watch the very first episode of a brand new Netflix original show, and I give you my play-by-play reaction review as I drink a glass and sometimes an entire bottle of chilled wine. The longer the show, the more I drink, and the better, or sometimes the worse, the review. This week, we're drinking a new personal favorite of mine. It's Oliver Winery and Vineyards Cherry Moscato. It's life-changing. You will never drink a regular Moscato again after having Cherry Moscato. And we're watching Samantha, a Brazilian comedy series about a child star from the 80s who's all grown up, and she's going through some hilarious antics to launch herself back into stardom. So I mentioned that the show is Brazilian, but it's dubbed in English, so it might take me a minute to get used to that. So I know I haven't had a lot to drink yet, but I'm wondering, what is a pack of pink cigarettes doing on a kid's show? 30 years later, and she's still rocking out with that pink pack of cigarettes, and hold on. Is that one of her dancers from the 80s that's now like 60 years old? Okay, so there's nudity, lots and lots of nudity. This is the strangest family dynamic I've ever seen. Samantha is turning out to be my kind of girl, taking your ex-boyfriend and using his failures for your successes. Look, it's no different than when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? New life goal, to get a man crawling on his hands and not his knees, but on pretty much his entire body looking like a seal. When you think of comebacks, especially when it comes to child stars and they want to make a comeback, you don't think of them coming back and doing the same thing that they were doing when they were a child star. You think of them wanting to be like an even bigger star on a different platform, but for some reason, Samantha still wants to be the Samantha she was when she was like 8 years old. I don't get it. So I'm hoping that the series takes her somewhere completely different than on stage with a pack of dancing cigarettes. Whoa, plot twist, something happened to the pack of cigarettes, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is because it's gonna totally ruin it for you. All right, there you have it. We're at the very end of the first episode of Samantha. I don't really love it, but I don't really hate it either. Yes, it's kind of cheesy, and yes, there is some lip dubbing, but towards the end of the first episode, things started to take a turn for the better, and it got to be a little bit sweet. We started with Samantha when she was like 8 or 9 years old as a child star singing with a pack of cigarettes. That's kind of where she ended up, but due to some unfortunate circumstances, she was thrust into the spotlight in a different role with her, I believe he's an ex-husband who just got out of prison. And now it seems as though they're forced to be together, and they could actually end up falling in love with each other once yet again. So it'll be interesting to see where the series goes, but it's going to be one of those shows that I have on as background noise and that I'll watch when I really have nothing else or anything better to do. So let me know what you're watching on Netflix and what should I watch next. And make sure you subscribe to ZOK TV so you know when the next episode of Netflix and Chilled ... Wine is on.